An epic performance from Ireland as they run up a record score in Twickenham. My name's Mark, let's talk rugby. Brilliant performance from Ireland in this one. I said in the preview that they'd need to find another couple of gears, that we'd seen some improvement from them, but there had to be a lot more for this game, and they absolutely delivered in spades. Fantastic performance all around from Ireland, and especially from players who had either been denied starts or, who've been rotated out of the team as well. The likes of James Gibson-Park, Crowley, Josh van der Fleer, McCarthy, lots of guys really standing up there, and the likes of Tommy O'Brien coming off the bench for Lowe when he may not have even been on the bench at all had Ireland got for a 6-2 split, and having a fantastic game there as well. So, the coaches got it absolutely right for this week. And, we've criticised them recently. We've got to give them massive credit for this performance as well. So, Ireland were early pressure near the England line, but they knock on England with a penalty at the resulting scrum, and they can kick clear. McCarthy, though, disrupts the line-out maul. Gets in there, turns the ball over, and then Ireland force a penalty for offside. Crowley then slots a penalty for 3-0. Then have a loose kick by Osborne, and back comes Arundel, and England win the penalty, but Ford completely misses touch. Bit of a let off for Ireland there, and a bit of kind of an early warning of the struggles that Ford is going to have in this game as well. England work it into the 22. Strong carries from Lawrence, Pollock, and Genge get some 5 metres out, but Ireland force an error and they're able to clear. And Ireland's defence in this game was brilliant, and not just first up defence, that scramble defence that has been such a feature of Ireland's defence and Ireland's successful defence, in previous years when they were kind of, at their heights, just came back with gusto in this game as well. Some absolutely brilliant scrambling from them. We then have another scrum penalty for England, but Ford kicks this one dead. And again, not having a good game, and I kind of feel sorry for him because he's been a key part of why England went on that 12-game winning streak before they lost against Scotland, and now the daggers are going to be out for the guy, and it's going to be he shouldn't be near an England shirt. Bring in Marcus Smith at 10 or Finn Smith, and it's always the same. Anytime England play poorly, he gets it in the neck, and I think he's going to get it in this one as well. Ireland then back in the England 22, and there was great work from Balakoon and Tommy O'Brien that got them there. Then a strong carry from Joe McCarthy. England in at the side. James Gibson-Park taps a penalty, goes quickly and over the score, converted from out wide for 10-0. Ireland then forced another penalty, but Crowley puts this kick wide. Probably should have slotted that, but one of the few blots on his copybook, honestly, today. Again, I thought he was excellent overall. McCluskey, who has been, absolutely sensational for Ireland. And again, we talked about before how with Ireland, there was this thing of certain players, if they're fit, they got picked, and it didn't matter what form people were in. And McCluskey finally got in the mix, and now we're seeing what this guy can do in an Irish shirt at test level, and it's absolutely amazing. But he breaks the line, goes deep into 22, about 5 metres out, recycled wide right from Gibson-Park for Balakoon to go over in the corner, and Balakoon, another guy who's just completely changed the outlook on this Irish team because he's such a talented player, but he's had such a terrible time with injuries as well. And it's great to see him getting a run in the team because, he deserves it. His form this season for Ulster, but also just the talent the guy has, the pace he has as well. there was a point in the game where he just burnt Arundel, and like that was a sight to see as well. Freddie Stewart then goes to the bin for playing the 9 in the build up to that try. So, and then the conversion misses 15 points to 0. Referee Piardi then has done his quad and he has to be replaced. So Pierre Brousset takes over in the middle. Yeah, and Piardi just, I think he was trying to run after Balakoon, I think. Then Balakoon then breaks a line and is offload to Tommy O'Brien. And then he's able to go over to score, converted for 22 points to 0. Ireland just running riot at this stage. And, the difference with Ireland, with that pace available on both wings now, with Tommy O'Brien on there as well. And the fact that the forwards are giving them that, winning the collisions, giving them that go forward, because, it certainly could have looked a whole lot different had England been the ones winning the collisions. But yeah, right now Ireland just looking so good. And those tweaks that we're talking about, that the attack seemed to be coming good. It really came good in this one, but now it's about, can they keep that going for the rest of the tournament as well? Then Pollock steals the ball at the breakdown just outside the 22. England spread it to get into 22, but McCluskey gets in there to tap the ball back on the Ireland side. And could have been an England try, very easy there. Just great defence from Ireland again, and brilliant scramble. Everyone, just completely up for this. Then we have Doris gets pinged at the breakdown, and who's it? Ford, makes sure of it this time when he's kicking to the corner. He goes actually to 10 metres out, whereas normally I would have put it right in the corner, but obviously a bit nervous having messed up 2 kicks previously. Ireland then pinged at the line-out for playing the arm, and England now do kick to the corner. England with a trick play back to George at the front of the line-out. He goes to the corner, but he's tackled just short. Balakoon a couple of wonders, and then Byrne gets over it to win a penalty for Ireland. Amazing defence again from Ireland, and Byrne at his best, when he gets in that poaching position. England then applying pressure with the clock in the red, and Chesham goes close before Dingwall goes over to score, converted for 22 points to 7 half time. But yeah, England also in that first half, they brought on Marcus Smith, with about a minute to go, with the idea of potentially getting over for the try. And also they replaced Cowan-Dickey with Jamie George after 20 minutes because they were all at sea, and they felt like they needed to get, one of their vice captains onto the field as well. Second half then, Doris breaks deep into 22, England penalised, and Pollock goes to the bin. This time, he's not, his first start for England, and he's not going to remember it, in a good way, I would say, after this game. And I think the yellow card on there as well was a bit of a cherry on top of his cake of misery, as it were. Ireland then tapped a penalty, and they just pound away at the line, and then Sheehan gets over, converted for 29 points to 7. England then pressing it to 22, but George is pinged for a crock roll, and Ireland able to clear it. And, they brought him on to kind of bring a bit of stability to the team, and he's given away a penalty like that when they're trying to get some momentum. England then back into 22, and they are camped on the Ireland line before then Lawrence gets over to score, converted for 29 points to 14. And Osborne then goes to the bin as well, and it's a real chance for England now to start eating into that, Ireland lead. And it's a case of, normally I would look at that and think, if the scores are reversed, Ireland are not coming back We saw that against France. Ireland cannot come back. But I thought maybe England get a bit of momentum at home and they might be able to do it. But then they get pinged in their own half and Ireland point to the post. Crowley makes it 32 points to 14. It's just eking out that lead at the minute now. And then Pollock on the edge of the 22, and he releases Freeman, but then Balakoon just absolutely smashes him into touch, and Tommy O'Brien did well to get back there and kind of knock him off stride as well, allow Balakoon the time to put him into touch. Then Byrne over the ball again, wins a penalty in the England 22. Crowley stretches it out to 35 points to 14. Then we have a kick in behind by James Gibson Park. Marcus Smith completely isolated. Another penalty Ireland. This time now they go to the corner, claimed by Byrne, go to the maul. Then they move it to go wide. They get pushed back out wide. And normally that would be a case of end of attack for Ireland. But some brilliant interplay. And then they get the ball to Osborne, who does really well to get over and finish. Just absolutely excellent play, backs and forwards, mixing, and it goes back to the height of Ireland's powers, I think, and it's amazing to see them getting back there. And hopefully, again, it's not just a flash in the pan for them, but that's converted for 42 points to 14. Then Marcus Smith intercepts, and he's away, and you're thinking it's Marcus Smith. He's not a slow guy, but Stuart McCluskey runs him down and drags him into touch. Absolutely brilliant. You wouldn't, again, they said it in commentary, I think, you wouldn't think of McCluskey as being a fast guy, but he actually, he hunted him down. It was brilliant. Yes, tired legs, but both of them have been playing, McCluskey played longer than Marcus Smith, who only played 40 odd minutes. And then England then close to the Irish line, and finally they get over for another try through Underhill, converted from 42 points to 21, but they couldn't get another try, to get themselves an unlikely bonus point out of the game. So that was our full-time score. So let's have a quick look at the stats, and then we'll talk about each of the teams. So let me pull the stats up here on the official site. Let me get it there. Yeah, but overall, I think, very surprising for me. I did say that there were signs from Ireland that things were improving, but still I didn't think that they would improve enough to actually be able to get this result here. And it's a fact as well that, they got that bit of a start, but then they kept going with it as well, because you have seen Ireland at times kind of have almost a false dawn where they get a good start and then they can't push on from there. But in this one, yeah, absolutely excellent. So, to the stats. First of all, possession 52 to 48 in favour of England. And then territory was 61 to 39. So Ireland with slightly less ball, but, a lot less territory and, going back to being as clinical as they were before. And we see that in the attacking minutes as well. 19.1 from England to 17.7 for Ireland. 3 tries for England. So right about, 6 and a bit minutes of attacking per try for them. And Ireland with 5 tries. So just over 3 minutes. So almost twice as efficient as England. There, then carries 154 to 123, meters carried 897 to 703, meters made 553 to 430. So we kind of, we can kind of see from that Ireland, even though they had less carries and they carried for less meters, they were actually making, getting that gain line more than England. Line breaks then 10 for England, 12 for Ireland. Defenders beaten 29 to 28. So, 1 and 3 conversion for England and about 1 and 2.5 for Ireland. Then passes 177 to 148. Offloads 5 for England, 10 for Ireland. And again, having players on there with the skills to offload, but we talked about it again in the build up. You need players to be there to actually get the offloads as well. And that was a big difference from, Ireland compared to other games where there was a lot more, support for the ball carrier when they were offloading. Then handling errors, 14 for England, just 8 from Ireland. And again, the pace they're playing at and the accuracy that they delivered was well beyond anything we've seen from them really kind of in the last year or so. And then turnover conceded 24 for England and 10 for Ireland. So, we didn't have a whole, we 50-50 on the ball, but it was much harder for England to get the ball off us than it was for us to get off them. On to kicking then. England just 18 kicks to 31 for Ireland, which again is a weird stat because England, were basically the leading kickers in the Six Nations up to this point, and for 18 kicks is way below where they were. They had 42 kicks in their opening game, and now they've gone against Wales, and now they've gone down to 18. Ireland on 31, so a little bit up on where they were against Italy, but round about average for them so far in the tournament. And kick meters 453 for England to 890 for Ireland. So again, we're seeing England not only not kicking as much, but kicking a lot shorter, and it really didn't pay off for them. And then Ireland, averaging almost 30 meters per kick, which means they're kicking longer than they were before. And obviously that change of 10, Crowley, his game management I thought was very good in this one. And just that mix of kicks as well from the back three too, really did help out Ireland. Then we have short tactical kicks, 12 for England and 16 for Ireland. So again, you can see England kicking a lot shorter. 2/3 of their kicks were those short kicks and only about half for Ireland. Again, a big contrast between the teams. Next then, tackles made, 132 for England and 176 for Ireland. And England missed 28 tackles to Ireland's 29. So England at 72% tackle percentage, way lower than they've been any time through the tournament. And Ireland at 80, way higher than they've been any time through the tournament as well. So massive improvement for Ireland, both sides of the ball, as you can see there. Next then, on to discipline. So penalties conceded, 14 for England, 12 for Ireland. Ireland certainly won't be happy with that number of penalties and they want to reduce it. Free kicks then 2-1. Offensive penalties conceded 6-3, and then defensive 8-9. So the one thing for Ireland would be that, the penalties, at least that they were given away, were under pressure on the defence for the most part. Yellow cards then 2 for England and 1 for Ireland. On to the breakdown then. Rooks won 96-83. Rooks lost 10 for England and 2 for Ireland. Just shows how aggressive Ireland were at the breakdown. Then Rook speed. So 0 to 3 seconds for England is 56%, 47 for Ireland. So both with really quick ball, but England not being able to exploit theirs the way Ireland did. Then medium speed ball, 4 to 6 seconds, 29 to 32%. And then slow ball, 6 seconds plus, 15% to 21%. Then breakdown steals, 1 for England, 2 for Ireland. Mauls 1, 5 for England, 1 for Ireland, and then Mauls lost 2 for England. And England thought that, the maul would be a big weapon for them, but I thought Ireland defended it for the most part very well. On to set piece then, scrums 1, 4 for England and 6 for Ireland. Scrums lost, none for England, 2 for Ireland. Scrums still a bit of a concern for Ireland, but it certainly wasn't, a deciding factor in the game. And I felt as well that overall the Irish scrum went well. It's just a couple of moments that they had there. Lineouts won then 14 for England, 9 for Ireland. Lineouts lost 2 for England, 1 for Ireland. And in both of those, England lineouts lost were stolen by Ireland as well. So again, talked about it before, Ireland, some of the best players at disrupting and stealing opposition ball in the lineout. And for the most part, we've been on the ground so afraid of opposition mauls that we don't want to compete. And now we compete and suddenly, we get rewards for it. And that's good to see. Right, so that's our stats. So let's talk about each of the teams. So start with the home team, England. Like, they've been on this massive run, and came a cropper against Scotland last week, and then this week as well against Ireland at home. I think this one is going to sting more than the Scotland loss, simply because, for a number of reasons. One, it pretty much ends England's tilt to the title at this stage. I thought Ireland's tilt to the title was going to end today, honestly, and I'm not sure that they are technically in the hunt for the title, but I think missing out on bonus points in those first couple of games could really come back to haunt them. But for England, I think this is really going to sting, and you're going to see that horrible knee-jerk reaction from the English media, pressure back on Borthwick, as if that run of fantastic results had never happened. Pressure back on Ford for the same reason, and calls for massive change, tearing up the game plan, etc. And even though I bet you that even though England only kicked 18 times in this game, which is like tiny for any, very rarely does a test team kick less than 20 times in a test match. But there's still going to be people saying there was too much kicking from England. And it beggars belief with stuff like that. They play better when they kick more, and most teams in the modern game, you can kind of, that's true of them as well. But, this is still a really good England team. They come up against an Ireland team that had just suddenly clicked out of nowhere, and it kind of caught them here. So now from England, it's about how do you finish your tournament? England would absolutely love, obviously, to go on and finish with 2 wins and kind of spoil a Grand Slam party, potentially at least, for France in Paris, although there's no guarantee, obviously, that they're going to be playing for the Grand Slam by then. But, I think that's got to be a kind of motivation now, is get back on the horse, get your systems right again, and go again. They haven't suddenly become a bad team in the last 2 weeks. They've been good for so long. So it's just a case of getting back there, seeing what teams are doing against them, and fixing that. For Ireland then, absolutely brilliant performance, as I said. A lot of players who had come in for criticism stepping up and performing here. And, the fact as well that we're bringing in these new players through this tournament as well, it's putting a much better light on I think, Ireland's Six Nations this year. I thought the line out both sides of the ball went fairly well. Scrum still a bit of an issue, but it feels like they're working towards kind of fixing that, at least in a temporary way. So we'll have to see, keep an eye on that. But 2 things that have massively improved: the attack, which includes the first up defence and scramble. That scramble was absolutely exceptional today. And then attack, the link up between players is suddenly there where it wasn't there before. Players are coming onto the ball at pace. They're, and ball carriers have options where they didn't have before, and it makes them, complete night and day compared to the way they were at the start of the tournament. So fantastic performance from Ireland, but again, they've got to go again and prove that it wasn't just a flash in the pan in this one.